Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. We got a great show in store for you. You know, sometimes you find something in your own backyard, and you go, whoa, today's a whoa day. So please stick around and watch the rest of the show. And if you can't, where can you see it? 2 and 8 every single day right here on Access Chautauqua, channel 1301 Spectrum. And if you don't want to do that, you can go to YouTube. And we'll have that posted probably tomorrow, and you can watch this over and over and over again forever. Okay? Good afternoon, everybody around the world. We're streaming live this morning, as far as I know. And good morning to those that are watching me live, and good afternoon to the other group that are listening to me on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to describe a lot of things to you guys that are listening, so you listen carefully. It's going to be a really fun show. Okay, I hope you're all doing well. Also remember that this is a live show, and if you want to call in, you want to share some event that your club or organization's doing. Sometimes I do get calls and people don't want to talk to me, but they'll write it down and hand it to me. That happened last week, I think. 753-5225, 753-5225. Randy's in the house today. He'll take your calls. Also, if you do want to talk to me live, they'll pump you right through somehow into my earpiece and into the speaker, like the magic of technology, and I'd be happy to talk with you. Many times you hear Linda Spalding call in and share some things, or Mike from Portland, or wherever. Rick from Fluvanna. Here's our third piece these days, huh? Okay, so anyways, you want to have a question for my guest, a question for myself. You know the rule, got to be nice, or else we push a button and bye-bye. All right, so let me share some things with you because I want to give my guests a lot of time today because we got a lot to talk about. So let's start out with my hometown of Ripley. The Ripley Library has a bunch of things going on. Did you know that the Ripley Library is launching its new book club at the Noble Winery? The first Sunday of every month, and Noble Winery is over in Westfield. And if you're interested, give the library a call, okay? Also, they are trying to get together something called a paint night. Justin, you ever do one of those? No. You paint something, drink a bunch of wine, and get crocked and hope for the best? No? Me either. Oh, that's a good thing. All right, paint night is back. $35. You don't get crocked. $35 per person. Art supplies are provided. Give them a call at 736-3913. That's the library number there. If you're interested, have a lot of fun. You bring your own wine, though. Beginning April 15th, they are going to have a white elephant Chinese auction, okay? And that's part garage sale, part spectacular, part Chinese auction. They're going to have tickets, $5 per sheet. You put your name on there, put them in the basket, and all that sort of thing. It's a fundraiser, lots of fun. April 29th, movie night at the library, okay, at 6 p.m. So they say bring your blankets, jammies, and it's a fun night, okay? They have some snacks and things available as well. April 30th, coming up. Boy, they're busy. Saturday, April 30th, they're going to have a vendor and craft fair right there, as well as a plant sale. So people don't think of their public libraries as a place to go for certain activities. Your libraries are really getting to be more varied and supply lots of different kinds of activities for all ages. So check out your local library, especially Ripley. Okay, got some things here. I can't even pretend to do this because I'm half Sicilian. I should be able to just slip into a Sicilian accent, but oh well. The Godfather is 50 years old, the movie. Yeah. Francis Ford Coppola's epic masterpiece, The Godfather. Wednesday, April 13th, 7 p.m., features Marlon Brando in his Oscar-winning role as the patriarch of the Corleone family. Actually, I was in Corleone. That's in Sicily. Corleone refers to the heart of the tiger, heart of the lion, not the tiger. Director Coppola paints a chilling portrait of the Sicilian clan's rise and near fall from power in America, masterfully balancing the story between the Corleone family and the ugly crime business in which they are engaged. Based on Mario Puzo's best-selling novel and featuring career-making performances by Al Pacino, James Caan, and Robert Duvall. This searing and brilliant film garnered 10 Academy Award nominations and won 3, including Best Picture of 1972. See, I was 20. The movie was restored for its 50th anniversary. The Godfather is rated R. There's some language in there. And 175 minutes long. That's a pretty long movie. Okay, upcoming movies at the Regillin A includes The Worst Person in the World, April 20th, starring Denzel Washington. Then another one, The Tragedy of Macbeth, on the 23rd. Prices, not bad. Only $7 for the movies, generally speaking. $6 if they're a family film. And they add $1 for theater restoration. Got to keep the place looking good. Tickets are available at the ticket box office from Mondays, Fridays, 12 to 8. Wednesdays, it doesn't say. It just chopped it right off. Wait a minute. Hang on, I got this. Monday through Friday, it's 12 to 5. Wednesday, it's 12 to 8. Give them a call at 484-7070, or you can always go online and check them out. All right. Easter's coming up, April 9th. Hang on a minute. What's today's date, Justin? 9th. It's today, then. Sometimes I get old announcements. April 9th, Fredonia Easter Festival from 8 a.m. to noon at the Fredonia Grange, up at 58 West Main Street in Fredonia. So that's starting like right now. So finish watching the show and then right up to Fredonia. The family-friendly event will feature breakfast, pictures with the Easter Bunny, and kids' crafts. There will also be a craft vendor show from 8 a.m. to noon at the main hall of the Grange, and an Easter egg hunt at noon in Barker Commons East. Breakfast is only $7 for adults, $5 for children, 5 through 12, and if you're under age of 5, you're free. Okay, something else coming up today, Dividing Native Perennials from 9:30 to 11 at Hickory Hurst Farms over here in Mayville. This hands-on 90-minute workshop will discuss the importance of division and renovations of perennials and demonstrate various methods used. Participants should bring their own shovel or spading fork and will take home their own free divisions of perennials from the gardens of Hickory Hurst Farm. The class will be held outdoors, so participants should dress appropriately for the weather. Well, it's today, and it's not bad, so I would say a jacket maybe and a nice warm hat. Registration $55, and spots are still limited. But in case you're watching and you want to go over there, 789-9427. They are all organic, and they've been on the show before. Great people, so check them out. The 10th annual Easter Carnival at the Children's Safety Village is going to be held April 16th. There he is, from 10 to 1 p.m. The carnival takes place at the village on Asheville BOCES campus. This event will take place in person and will be mostly outdoors. Dress appropriately. Once again, admission is $5 per person. Children 2 and under are free. Admission includes the following: games, crafts, train rides, and a bounce house and cars. Okay, weather permitting. There's another word after that. I don't know where it goes there. Children can hunt for candy at the different buildings and also visit the Easter Bunny, while families can take their own pictures. There's also 50-50 drawing for a basket raffle and so on. Also know that they do great work over there, and this is their fundraiser for this time of the year. So come out, and a lot of organizations that have their little buildings there are handing out candy, and my Rotary Club, the Westfield Mayville Rotary Club, will be handing out candy, and I'll be there at 10:30 to do the same. So check that out. So that's next Saturday. Oh, but not to be bested, downtown Jamestown, the city of Jamestown, is excited to announce the return of the traditional Easter egg hunt at Allen Park on Saturday, April 16th. So when you're done with the Safety Village, get over to Jamestown at 11 a.m. The age groups will be split up with 4 and under by the big pavilion and kitchen, 5 to 8 by the basketball court, 9 to 12 by the little pavilion. They do by age groups because the big kids have a tendency to kind of outrun the little guys when they're looking for things. Listen to this. There will be over 300 prize eggs and plenty of candy for all. The Easter Bunny and Whiffy, the tarp skunk, we know about him, will make special appearances. If you don't know the tarp skunk, that's the Jamestown Tarp Skunks mascot, the baseball team. The event will be free of charge to the public. Jamestown City Parks manager Dan Stone said, "We are extremely excited to be able to hold one of our traditional egg hunts this year. After a few years of having to alter the event due to COVID, as we all know, they're happy and able to have this for the kids this year." So it's sponsored by a whole bunch of people. 74th annual Easter egg hunt. Next and last, we talk about this every year. Hope Chautauqua is a drug-free community coalition, and it has an initiative right now called the National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. Okay, what are you talking about here? This is where a lot of times we have medications, believe it or not, for our pets. I probably have some from one of my dogs that I just had in the cupboard all this time. Probably should get rid of it. But you don't want to flush it down the toilet. You don't want to dump it in the garbage. You want to take it to these folks, and they'll take care of it for you. So here we go. Do you have unused or expired prescription medication that you would like to get rid of? On Saturday, April 30th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., it is National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. Stop at one of the following locations in Chautauqua County, and here they are. You can go to the old 5-Star Bank over on Fairmount Avenue in Lakewood, the Westfield Family Physicians at 138 Main Street, All-Star Ambulance in Dunkirk over on Monroe Street. It's free and anonymous. You don't have to sign any forms as far as I know. You don't have to tell them your name. Just say, here's my stuff, and they'll take care of it. Liquids and sharps will not be accepted, okay? So don't bring needles or anything like that. All right, now, if you have a question, here's the phone number, 366-4623. Okay, now that's how we do it here, as you can tell. You have an announcement, you want something to share, you can email it to us at chautauquasunrise@gmail.com or call it in, we'll share it. All right? I'm going to take a breather. We're going to go to a public service announcement. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over. When you see lights,
vests,
or reflectors,
please give us some room. Slow down and move over.
when you need us.
We've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back?
Please, slow down.
And move over.
When I see people just zipping by police cars or the fire department when they're trying to help somebody, just slide over into the other lane. Sometimes you get boxed in, that'll happen, but if you can, do it. Okay, I mentioned in the beginning of the show that we've done a number of shows on healthy eating and so forth. During COVID, we did a number of programs, I guess, for Destination Chautauqua, the other program that we develop here. And we had folks coming on talking about eating healthy and different ways to prepare foods and so forth. And so we talked about the end user, where you go to the store and you buy the stuff and you prepare it using healthy recipes. Well, today we're going to go to the other end of the chain, and we're going to talk about people that actually produce some of that food, and they've got a very interesting concept of their marketing plan, and we're going to get into the deep part of that here in a minute. So I want to welcome to the show Sarah Parker, Keith Hagenbuch. Did I say that correctly? That's
Pretty good.
Pretty good. And Rob Parker. And this is the trio from Parable Farms in South Ripley, New York, my backyard. So welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us, Doc.
Absolutely. So the first time I ever heard the name Parable Farms was on a sign, I think over on Side Hill Road. Is there a sign there?
On Side Hill? No.
On the Northeast Sherman Road. There's
Yeah, it's on the
no
Northeast
sign on
Sherman
So-
Road.
Side Hill.
There's a sign, but
I don't
no.
get my
I-
directions really well. I just kind of bounce around this world. Well, I saw your sign, and I thought, Parable Farms, that's kind of an interesting name. So where does Parable? Parable is a story or a moral, or, you know, that you're
a
trying
story
to
that teaches.
So,
And my parents, we were raised in the church. My parents, we're strong Christians, and so parables were used regularly whenever we were growing up to kind of show a lesson or teach a lesson. And I think when Mom named the farm Parable Farm, that's what she had in mind.
Oh,
It
so-
would be a story that taught.
so this is a generational project.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
right.
I would say for sure.
So let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. When we talked on the phone, we said we want to tell the story because this is a different program. This is a different project that I'm used to hearing about. So who wants to start the story out?
Well, Dad can start out whenever he's a retired physics professor, and so he and Mom got involved in the farming to start off with, and you can kind
Wait a minute. You're a physics professor. Physics professor where?
Penn State parent.
Okay. And how'd you end up in South Ripley?
Oh, that's a serendipitous story. We had a bed and breakfast in Erie, Spencer House Bed and Breakfast. And the time it takes to operate a bed and breakfast, it's late at night and early in the morning. And we did that for 10 years, and my wife's health began to fail. And so she felt she really had to turn the bed and breakfast over to somebody else. And she promptly started looking for territory, farming
A new nest.
area. And it turned out that she searched a number of places. And then it turned out a lady in our church said, "Did you know that there's a piece of land available in South Ripley?" And we said, "Where?" She said, "Well, you drive across it. Whenever we were looking at another piece of property, she said, you drive right across that property." Well, then my wife went and met the fellow who owned the property, and we began to negotiate with him.
How many acres are we talking here?
645 at the time.
So, a little B&B.
Yeah, little B&B.
Makes sense to me. 645 acres. I had no idea it was that big.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've done a number of things that I knew zero about before I got into it. Doing renovation work on an old building, which I had to do for the bed and breakfast. That was one. And then getting into buying this farm, knowing zero about farming.
It sounds like me.
Yeah.
What am I doing
But
now?
you know, one of the things that you learn going to graduate school
Yeah.
is how to learn.
Yeah. You research and research. You ask lots of questions.
So I was pretty good at learning.
Yeah, I guess. So. Was there a house on the property?
There was, but just before we moved out there, the house burned. So there was a trailer on the property, and we moved into a trailer.
And how long ago was that?
99.
We bought the farm in December of 1999, and we moved to the property in April of 2000.
So about 22 years then.
Yeah.
Well, so you're marking some time. So where were you guys all this time? Now, we've neglected to note that you two guys are married, right?
Yep.
Not brother and sister. We established that earlier.
Yeah, no, we've been married for a long time, and we were living in downtown Erie. We had a house in downtown Erie. I'm a registered nurse by trade.
Okay.
And Rob was Snap Type at the time. It's Parker Hannafin now, and he's in charge of the maintenance there. And so that's what we were doing, through those years. We were living in downtown Erie and working our jobs.
You must have said, Dad, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, no, because my parents are big project people.
Okay.
They've always been that way. They come together over projects and like working on projects together. So from the time I was a kid, there was always larger
natural
projects.
Of course
going
you buy a 600 plus farm. Of course.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
big deal.
we seem bored.
on. Yeah. Well, and the restoration on the bed and breakfast in downtown Erie, that was a big restoration that was really something to watch Dad kind of, take these big projects and get them done and restore that whole house.
It's your German heritage. It's just tough, rough people.
We know how to work.
We know how to work.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm not just making that up. I mean, like we talked earlier, I've been in Germany many times, and the work ethic there is just second to none as far as I can tell. I mean, they're just awesome people, especially when you get down to that Black Forest area and, the woodworkers and all that, just really good. Rob, you're a maintenance manager at someplace, and what do they do there? So
We work on high pressure systems, work in the gas and oil industry. I've been there 24 years.
And so what do you actually do? You said in maintenance.
Maintenance, millwright, and before that I was a machinist. And,
Millwright, I understand. My brother's a millwright, so I understand that. So you move equipment, set it up. When you buy it, you take it in, take it out. And all. See, I understand.
wire
these
it.
things. Yeah. I'm like your dad. We research these things.
Yeah. Yep. I enjoy my job out there, and I've been there a long time. And
All right. So you have to commute.
Yes.
yeah, it's 28.5 miles one way.
Just in case I wanted to know.
Yeah.
My entire career, I was never closer than 26 miles until my last 5 years when I was Superintendent at Ripley, which was 4 miles.
That's a nice change.
That was a big change. I was at work before I was ready. So, Sarah, are you still nursing? Or
I keep up my nursing license.
Right.
I do a lot of consulting with people who have kind of chronic inflammatory issues going on.
Oh, we have just the person for We'll have to talk. No, we won't go there.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Justin and I have this little inside joke.
Yeah, there's a lot of illnesses going on that are related to poor nutrition and poor stress management. And so I talk with people about that a lot and help them kind of get on track with that. So I don't do any formalized nursing anymore. Substitute school nursing at Sherman Central, but really just kind of working from the farm with my customers.
Okay. I gotta take a deep breath here. Okay, so the story goes, you left the B&B business, you bought a big farm. What was the plan?
We didn't have a clear plan.
Okay.
Just my
Okay.
wife wanted to move out into the country. Looked at a lot of places before we came on this one, and we didn't know what we were going to do.
Okay, so clean slate, white palette.
Mom's a very visionary. She was a very visionary person, so she had a tendency to kind of go with what she saw.
What was her background?
What, domestic engineer professionally?
Well, because I was wondering, if she had gone to school for
No,
something.
no, she's just very creative, gregarious person, and loves working with people, with an emphasis on nutrition. I'm a third generation kind of holistic health person, and but no formalized training, just real feel for what she felt like she was supposed to be doing in life.
Okay, so at some point y'all got together on the farm?
Actually, my mom got sick unexpectedly, and so we transitioned to the farm in order to keep the farm, keep the farm going on. It was a plan that we had kind of been bandying about before she got sick, and then when she got sick, it just moved things along much faster. So we lost her in 2012, and then by 2013, Rob and our son and I, we moved out to the farm and kind of started, taking over the production of it, and doing a good job with that.
Okay, so basically in the year 2000, you're on the farm. So,
It had been a dairy farm
okay.
for at least three generations.
Oh, wow.
So all the equipment was there to milk cows. And the oldest son of the guy we bought the farm from had done a lot of work on the farm, but never had financial responsibility or never owned cows. So I invited him, come out, buy some cows, you can use the equipment, and I'll work for you for a year for nothing. So he did. He bought cows, and my job was to bring them in the morning, feed them, put them back out again. And I did that not for 1 year, I did it for 2 years. And over that 2-year period, I learned how to take care of cattle. Learned how to give them shots, how to diagnose problems, what it was required to feed them, and so on. And as I say, I learned how to learn.
Right.
So I learned how to take care of cattle.
If you come to my house and I am not in the house before my wife, on TV will be Dr. Pole or one of those veterinarian shows. It's a
Educational program.
educational program. We watch every veterinarian show there is, I think. My wife just is consumed by them. So, and I understand exactly what
Well,
you're
that's
saying.
how we got into cattle.
Okay. So that's the dairy phase, but you're not doing dairy, right? Now?
No. After seeing what was involved to milk cows, no, I decided not. Beef cattle, much easier.
All right. Because you said something about being a tough business because you're up at night and first thing in the morning. Sounds like cows to me, or dairy cows anyways. So, and I've known a number of dairy farmers, and that's their life. I mean, you don't go anywhere.
That's
You're
right.
stuck to the farm.
Every day.
Every day.
There's no days off. in dairy.
Okay, so
right.
so then there must have been a transition to something different then. So who's going to tell me about that?
Well, I think whenever Rob and I moved on to the farm, they were already producing chickens that we rotationally grazed. They were already producing some turkeys. They were already producing some pork, and a little bit of beef. And so we just kind of built on that, I think, and that's what we do now. So we do about 1,000 chickens a year for
What?
broilers. Yep.
Say it again?
Yeah, about
1,000?
1,000 chickens a year.
I raised chickens. I got like 25, and I thought that was a lot. 1,000 chickens.
Yeah.
This is like big time. All right,
Yeah,
go ahead.
1,000
I'm
chickens.
listening.
They're
1,000
all
chickens.
Rotationally grazed and
What does that
started
mean?
on non-GMO food. We have them in hoop houses, and there's some pictures that you'll see of the hoop houses that we move every day onto fresh pasture so that they can scratch at the ground and eat the bugs and poop on the ground and make it all healthier. So we do the chickens and then turkeys as well.
How many?
We're doing 80 this year.
Oh, just 80.
Yep, 80 turkeys this year.
Turkeys are big animals. True story. My brother, if he's watching, he'll love this story. He raised turkeys one year, and I'm not making this up because I was there and I saw this thing dressed out. It was 48-pound turkey. It was gigantic.
Yeah, we made that mistake once as well.
The first year.
Okay.
Yeah, the
what
first
in
year.
the world do you do with a 48-pound turkey?
That
I'm
is
not
the
making this up.
question.
People that are watching
Yeah.
and listening right now.
That is the question.
We could Turkzilla, we call it.
Ours was 42 pounds.
All right,
plus
so
the
I'm not
first
making
year.
these things up.
No,
Hey.
it's that happens.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but we're doing 80 turkeys this year, and then about a dozen hogs we do, and
Okay.
the hogs again run on woods and field. We have about 5 acres of woods and field that they run on.
Okay, now when you say hog, we're talking about big guys or just
Well, we get them when they're farrowed in February. They're born in February. We usually get them in May or June, depending on when the ground is ready, and then we grow them up until October or November.
So basically, they're young animals.
That's right.
So how many pounds? Do they
350 to 400 is about the ideal weight.
in one season?
In one season, they get that.
Hence the
big.
word hog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not just a clever name.
Woo!
Yeah. One
Really good.
season they get that big, and then we butcher them in the fall, and that provides for our CSA members for the whole year.
All right, and we're going to talk about CSA in a minute.
Yeah.
All right, folks, you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. My guests today are folks from Parable Farms, and if you have a question for them, because we're getting into the nitty-gritty, I'm having fun here, give us a call at 753-5225. And someone already did call, someone you must know. Heidi? Maris?
I don't know.
She says, I love Parable Farms.
Oh, Haiti Marie's, yes. That's our
Oh,
friend
Haiti Marie's.
Leanne's farm, yeah.
Oh. Well, she's watching you right now.
Yeah.
All right. Howdy.
Hi, Leanne.
Heidi? Heidi?
It's
Haiti.
Heidi, but
Or
it's
Heidi.
spelled like Haiti.
Yeah.
So, it's
Okay.
Heidi
It is
Marie's,
Heidi,
which is
yeah.
the
See,
name of her grandmother.
I just read things. So.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
Yeah.
for tuning in.
Yeah.
All right. So, you go to work.
Yes, every day.
He works full-time.
I get up at 1:45 in the morning for work.
Sounds like fun. And you're on the farm all day?
Yes.
And you're on the farm all day?
Yep.
All right. So we got 2 full-time workers. That's it?
Yeah, that's it. We have our friend Mike who comes in and he doesn't volunteer, but he works for me a little while during the week. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We got kids from the area that come and spend days on the farm just to have fun.
Okay.
But no, it's pretty much it. That's
Wow.
us.
Okay. So I'm going to tell Jeff this, my engineer. Anytime you want to pop up any pictures while we're talking, Jeff, let me know. And then if you want to do that video, let me know too. Okay? So we'll just kind of go with the flow. All right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So you said you butcher. Do you butcher your animals or do you have somebody come?
We butcher our poultry
You do
ourselves.
yourself. I've done that.
And we're working on butchering our cows and pigs as well, but there's a lot of learning involved. I think I consider it an art. You know,
It is, yeah.
As I've tried to do it myself, I'm really good at making ground beef. You know?
Oh, we didn't say how many head of cattle, cows, steer. What?
About 90.
Yeah,
About 90.
it varies between 80 and 100.
Yeah, about 90 right
They're
now.
not steers, so what do you call them?
They are, there's steers, there's bulls, there's heifers, and there's, what do you call the adult cows, the adult females?
Dinner.
Yeah, the mothers, the producing
yeah,
Okay,
the
so-
mothers,
so
yeah, none
how-
of the girls go.
Brood
Well, how
stock.
many? So 90 is the total.
90 is the total number, and we usually have a dozen or so animals every spring. And we raise them up to about age 3 before we do the butchering.
Okay.
And we typically steer the animals at 1 year. We turn them into steers, and those are the animals that we use for our beef shares.
Okay. So your dad learned about farming and
Yeah.
cows. Did he simply teach you, or did you guys have to?
He
learn
taught
more?
us, and you know, it's just
Yeah.
like with everything. You go in with blinders on, and even though someone's instructing you, everyone learns differently. So you learn as you go, and which really, I mean, you learn how much you don't know
Yeah.
when you take on an endeavor like this.
I came on and did some helping with the butchering of the chickens before Mom passed to help out, and yeah, it wasn't particularly pleasant. Now I don't think anything of it, but
Right.
in the beginning, it was
Yep.
not something I wanted to do.
Yeah, I raised chickens twice, and yeah, I'll just go to the store now.
Yeah, yeah, but
You
we
know-
really believe in what we're doing, and we know that doing it this way and butchering them on our farm is the best thing for the chickens, and therefore the best thing for our customers.
Right. When we talked earlier this week, I said, be prepared to give an elevator speech. So this is the time you get the elevator speech, which is a short version of what is Parable Farms and what's your mission? Because it's not what I think people typically think of a farm. Okay?
Yeah.
To me. So why don't you share that?
Yeah, I guess we kind of have a broader view of our community area, and we want our farm to enrich our community. So while this is what our focus is right now, is producing these very healthy meats and doing good things for the environment, as time goes on, we really want to be involved in improving our community overall, working with other farmers. We love to collaborate and trade and talk about where needs are, and we really want to encourage kids to get back to farming.
Yeah.
This area is going to become awash with people interested in producing food as climate change goes on.
Yeah.
And so we feel like it's important to inspire our local kids to see the huge benefits in farming and dig in.
Literally.
Dig in and stay in our community.
You use some pretty big concepts just now. Environment, healthy eating, community, climate change. So let's touch on them a little bit, okay?
Sure.
So where did this need to work with the community to enrich it, where does that come from?
Boy, I don't know. I think it's kind of organically grown. Mom was always very involved in her community and always taking more interest in people's needs than the average person would. So I think being raised around someone who is very generous with herself and helping other people definitely has to do with it. I think the time that I've spent at Sherman Central around the kids there gave me a better picture of where the needs were, and I love the kids and love the community, love the teachers, the educators in the school, and so we just feel that it's important that we invest ourselves.
Did you have anybody go to Sherman?
Our son currently goes there.
We haven't mentioned him yet.
No, Gavin Parker, yes. Gavin Parker, he's an 11th grader at Sherman Central this year. And
Is he an FFA?
no, he is not. He actually is not that inspired by farming at this age.
Yeah.
But we feel like, there's ebb and flow with the kids. They go out and they come back. And so we give him a lot of room to pursue what he's interested in. We don't want him to not want the farming.
Right. Keith, my kids, as they grew up, they would look at my diploma and say, I need to have one of those. I go, no, you don't. And they go, look at me. I go, only if you have this burning desire to have one of those, or that one, or that one, or that one. Because it's like you say, not everybody is inspired to be a farmer or get a PhD or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You got to go with your passions. You mentioned the concept of a healthy community. That kind of fits in with what we do here as far as trying to expose people to good practices, And one of the organizations that I belong to, which I'll give them a plug, is called the Chautauqua Leadership Network. One of the things that was a concept that we focused on was healthy community. And what does that mean? And it means food, transportation, health services, the internet, whatever it is, so that we can be the best that we can be and be healthy, at the same time. We've talked many times on this show about the stressors, and we talked about poor nutrition and stuff like that. And I am convinced that after traveling to Europe and other countries, we really got to look hard and long at what we're eating.
We have a big problem with food production in our country.
I think people have tried to do things correctly, but then finances get in the way, or trends, or certain things that seem like the right thing to do but kind of backfired. What's the state of the state in your mind as far as Chautauqua County and food production goes?
I think that in this region in general, not just Chautauqua County, but even into Northeast and stuff, there's a lot of really good food being produced. And we want to, I would love to see some of our local food moved into our school. So many of the cafeteria setups for schools have contracts, and they wind up getting their food through these kind of big sources that don't put a lot of emphasis on the nutrition of the food.
Right.
So I think it would be great if we could get some of the local food into our educational system, and then also inspire the kids on, growing food and picking out healthy food.
So that would take a lot of system change to do things like that, whether it's a school, a hospital, or a nursing home, or whatever. Because they're sometimes they're bound by law. They have to go to the lowest bidder. They have to do and so on. But sometimes they have the option to buy locally, and knowing my background in education, they could do that to a degree.
Yeah.
But buying a bunch of whatever is not the same as bringing in a lot of stuff locally. And I think that's probably something, I don't want to go deep on this, but that's where we got to talk to Senator Borrello or Goodell or whomever, to go to Albany and say, we got to tweak this a little bit so that we could have some opportunity to bring in local growers and farmers and stuff like that. Because I think people would like to do more of that, but they're bound by these rules.
They are. That's right.
It would be tough for local people to keep up with the volume necessary to provide for schools as
well.
well.
That's the other thing too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So you're kind of a small one purchase, you're done for the year.
Yeah. But the school can work too to produce some things for the school itself. You can do smaller gardening concepts and that kind of thing, or even sourcing, and involve the kids.
Okay, you mentioned climate change. I thought that was kind of an interesting thought. I'm a pretty open-minded guy, and I remember I watched Al Gore's Chautauqua Constitution years ago talking about climate change, and I sat there and I thought about it for a while. And it took me a while to buy into the concept because I had to think about it, and I heard both sides of the story, and I saw the cycles of ups and downs. And, this is kind of a natural thing that occurs. And then I started traveling the country and getting up into Alaska and places. And they said, well, right here where you're standing used to be the glacier, and now it's 4 miles over there. And I'm going like, are you kidding me? And start to see different shows on TV. So I get it.
Yeah.
I understand now.
It's a thing.
And it's changing everything. It is. So you said this would be a great time because of climate change to get into farming. How come?
So it was actually a conversation I had with a lady from the FDA a few years back. Following a drought, they were kind of reaching out to local farms and asking questions. How is everybody doing? And I wound up actually getting her on the phone because I was interested in talking with her a little further to make sure that she understood that farming covered more than crops, that there were other things being farmed. And she kind of confirmed for me she was not aware that meat was farmed.
Where was she from?
Well, she's a city girl.
Venus?
And very highly educated city girl. And she had never actually thought it back to where the meat comes from. And so we had this great conversation for about 45 minutes. And she asked me a bunch of questions about the production of meat and what it takes and how the drought may have affected us. And I guess it was at one point of the conversation she said to me that she wondered if there was any discussion on food production getting forced into the Northeast. And I was a little confused by her question at first. And I said, why? Because of water shortages, or why are you asking? And she said, yeah, water shortages, climate change. Is there any discussion there on food production getting forced into the Northeast? And I said, no. What does the FDA say about that? And she said, that's our long-term planning. So that was the conversation that really made me think about it differently. If the FDA is doing long-term planning based on their science,
Right.
which is much more thorough than my science.
Right. And they're seeing the trends at 30,000 feet, right?
Yeah, that we can presume, if that's their long-term planning, that is most likely what's going to happen. So that's whenever I started really thinking more about talking to kids and families about making more use of their land, getting their farming going, so that as these years change things, you're in there, you're dug in.
And I think that's a good connection to have, where you're looking at what are the trends 10 years out, so you can start making those changes now.
Yeah.
Instead of, what's the old thing, if you're standing still, you're falling behind, that type of thing. So, all
That's
right.
it.
A
Or the
lot of people
grasshopper
try
on the
to,
end.
excuse me,
Yeah.
a lot of people try to place a blame on the climate change, where it's coming from, what's the cause. But really, there's no way to really determine exactly where it's coming from. But you could see that the winter season, it comes later and goes away, earlier in the year, and then you're left with like moist ground,
Right.
and no snow, no frozen ground. And so really,
More bugs.
It's right there in front of you, but you can't place a blame on it, but you can see it clearly.
Interesting discussions here. Okay, so your farm, you raise pigs, chickens, turkeys, and
Cows.
Yep. We've done sheep too a little bit.
and sheep, goats.
No, well, we just, no. They take a little more to wrangle.
Everybody says, "Oh, look at those cute little dwarf goats! Boing, boing, boing."
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you and I had a discussion again, going back to our discussions on how your farm works. So your farm, somebody watching right now just can't go up to the farm and say, "I'd like to buy 5 pounds of hamburger." It's not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's hold that thought
Okay.
because I have a phone call.
Oh.
All right, my technology fails me today because I could hear something going on, but that's why you saw me doing all this issues. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Doc, and good morning, guests. This is Linda Spalding. It's so fascinating to hear about your organic farm. We need more of that
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
to keep us healthy. Thank you for doing this, and thank you for coming on the show.
We appreciate that.
Thanks for calling. We appreciate that.
Yeah, and you sell your produce locally, don't you? And you're
So we actually sell our things in a share format. CSA, which stands for Community Supported Agriculture, was a business concept that was thought up in California a lot of years back to help people connect with farms and farms connect with people. So we use a share system, and we have a list of shareholders that receive a delivery a month, year-round, and they invest in us in the long term, and we invest in them in the long term. So,
that's great.
Yeah, it makes our planning better.
Do you work with the Cooperative Extension at all?
I don't, but I would love to work with the Cooperative Extension Office. They're doing a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, they do a lot of good things. They have for years.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on, and I don't want to interrupt your presentation, and keep up the good work, and have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you for the appreciation.
You.
I'm here too, Linda.
Okay.
Have a good one, Linda.
Thanks, Linda, as always. Take care. Have a nice weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, we have a lot of fun here. Okay. Well, Linda that was sort of the question I was just ready to pose, and so she sort of asked it.
Yeah.
So let's dissect that a little bit more. So people are watching go, I still don't understand what you mean by share. So let's just say I'm interested, I don't know, in chicken. Chicken. We like chicken in our house.
Yeah.
All right. So how do I get involved with what you do?
So if you were interested in buying our chickens and you wanted to buy a chicken share goes one of two ways. A half share of chicken, you get 1 5-pound chicken a month. A full share of chicken, you get 2 5-pound chickens a month. So 5 and 10-pound shares is how we do it. And a lot of times people aren't used to cooking whole chickens sometimes. So we'll give them cut birds to get started. But we've found that our CSA members become much better at using the animals as we sell them, and so we don't actually have to cut as many birds anymore as we used to.
So
but that would be a chicken share.
So, as opposed to a lion share.
Yes.
Nice.
Nice segue there. In my mind, 5 pounds of chicken is a chicken, one chicken.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 5 pounds of chicken is one chicken. And the reason that we do it that way is it's more sustainable. So when we used to do retail and some of the farmers markets and that kind of thing, we had to cut up the chickens after we butchered them. We had to cut them all up and
Wrap
package them individually,
Cool them down.
and sell them that way.
Yeah.
And it's just not as sustainable whenever you're talking about how few people are raising all those chickens, that at the end of a slaughter day, you just butchered 120 birds. The last thing you want to do is go back in and cut up a bunch of them and then package them separately. So it's one of the reasons we appreciate our shareholders, because they know how to cut up their own bird.
Which I do in this case, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you're not going to come down to your place and get, I need 10 pounds of chicken wings. You're going to get the whole bird.
That's
and not
right.
the bird.
Typically, you're going to get the whole bird.
We will
plus a
quarter
little-
birds on special request.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if I'm interested in a share, and I say, okay, sign me up for a share, and this is only based on availability, right?
It is based on availability.
All right, and I also noticed on your website it's cash. You're
I
not
love
messing around, no credit
cash
cards.
is king.
Cash is king. Check? Can I check?
Cash, check, yep,
Okay,
those
but no-
things
no
are
credit
fine.
cards. Okay.
And you can opt in for our share system for 1 month to try it, but we encourage people to sign on for the whole thing so that our planning, if I know ahead of time exactly how many customers I have and exactly how many pounds of meat they're going to use, then I can figure out how many animals I need to buy,
Right.
how much feed I need to budget for, how much rotational grazing needs to happen in a season, and all of those things can be projected.
This is no different than buying a car.
No?
You order a car. They know how many parts they need. They make the car, and you buy it.
There you go.
And so the money, everything's flowing, and usually they put it down. You put a deposit on the car.
Yeah.
So, you know, right?
That's
so
true.
You're sort of doing the same thing, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
paying
Yeah,
ahead
that's
of time.
interesting.
Or whatever.
Well, it used to be trying to find our customers was difficult.
Yeah.
You spend so much time farming and then getting out to find the people that you want to sell to. It's just not
So are your prices like variable throughout the year, or I mean?
No, they pretty much stay the same. But I would say that as meat prices have gone up in the grocery store, Our costs so far have not changed a lot. We expect feed prices to go up here.
Fertilizer here is going up too. And
Yeah,
things like that.
fertilizer and gas, those things affect feed prices. But we've pretty much been able to keep our prices the way that they've been.
And this would be considered organic.
I would say organically grown,
Okay.
because some of the feed that we use is not, I mean, it's not certified organic feed. We start our animals off with non-GMO feed. Our cows are, of course, 100% grass-fed, so they don't get any feed at all.
On
just our-
certified organic fields.
But yes, yeah, our fields are certified organic
And
fields.
I understand no chemicals sprayed, nothing.
Never.
Is
No,
what it
nothing
is.
like that ever.
Okay, great.
No
Yeah.
green finishing, all grass.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So if I'm interested in a share of whatever, then I pay you ahead of time,
Yep, you pay me at the beginning, and then you get a delivery a month for 5 months.
and they come. You bring it to my house.
No, we actually have drop-off locations. Again, making us more sustainable. Whole Food Co-op in Erie is our main drop-off location. We have a lot of customers that meet up with us there. But people also like to come and pick up on the farm
Oh,
and kind
okay,
of
so you
watch
come-
how the season goes on the farm, visit the animals.
Okay.
And we also have a drop-off location in Northeast Harbor Creek area.
I don't think we've actually said where is the farm.
The farm is on the Northeast Sherman Road. So
Okay.
about 10 minutes outside Northeast. It's 9584.
And 7 minutes outside of Sherman.
Yep, 7 minutes outside of Sherman.
Yep.
It's pretty close to everything, I would say, and not off the beaten trail.
Okay, great. Okay, so as someone's listening right now, they say, well, how much is it? Is there some place you get a price list? Or
Yeah, you can go to our website, eathealthy@parablefarm.org, and it outlines our share prices there. And when there's availability, right now we have a waiting list, and this current rotation goes till June. July is our off month, and then we begin our next rotation in August. So if anybody is interested in finding out about shares or has questions, they can certainly call us, but they can take a look at the different shares that are being offered on the website and reserve one
Okay.
for themselves.
Now, I'm not trying to lead the witness on this, and y'all can, either one of you could jump in on this. When I raised chickens and we prepared the meat and ate it, it didn't taste anything like the store.
Right.
No, it does not.
Yes. It's
I'm not trying to.
No,
am I right?
no, there's a
you're
grand
totally
difference.
right.
I mean,
Oh,
my
yes.
chickens tasted more like turkey than they tasted like chicken. I mean, they were just
Because they have
and
flavor.
plumper, and I only fed them whatever I was supposed to feed them. No
Yeah.
chemicals. And stuff like that. And I'm assuming the same thing with your beef and so.
the beef, the pork. I tell people the beef is beefier, the pork is porkier.
Stress
And-
provides a different flavor to the animals that they don't get when they're raised in a natural, healthier way.
With a varied diet. They all have these varied diets, and they're behaving the way these animals would behave if they were in the wild. That's basically our goal. Is we want them eating and acting like they normally would, and so it creates this much stronger, flavorful meat and a happy animal. So you don't have to worry about there being stressors or stress hormones or poor ingredients kind of in
There's
that
a
meat.
lot of science to this.
There is some science to it.
Right up
yeah.
your field.
We tell people our animals have one bad day in their life.
Every other day.
That's
is-
Every day is a
Just
great
one.
day at the farm. Okay, this may be a sensitive subject, and I'm going to ask it anyways, and take it for what it's worth. If I go to the supermarket and I buy something, it's one price. If I go to Whole Foods, because they say that they're organic or whatever, and I'm not picking on Whole Foods, it just came to my mind, they seem to be a little more expensive. So I'm assuming your prices would probably be somewhat on the little higher side compared to what you would find at the supermarket?
Typically, although recently meat prices have gone up so much that we're kind of more level with the way they were.
Okay.
But for years, that was probably the number one question is why is it so much more expensive? But when you're producing meat on a smaller level like we are, and when you are taking so much pains to make sure that they're having a healthy environment that they live in and behaving like they would normally behave, it just costs more. It costs more.
But to me-
We've kind of been duped into thinking that things cost less than they do to produce, and that's the competitiveness of large corporations like Walmart and that kind of thing. They're working to get things at the cheapest
Right.
price that they can.
All right. We have a little video
Oh, yes.
with you and your friends. So, Jeff, let's roll that, and you can talk over the video or any pictures that pop up because we still have a little bit of time. So let's do that. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so let's roll that.
So this is us moving the cows, right? We have a bunch of fields on the lower part.
Hang on.
Oh, that's okay.
We get technology here.
We rotationally graze them, so we move them every
From
couple
pasture
of
to
days.
pasture.
Yeah, onto fresh pasture. This
There
is
we
a
go.
pasture that they've already grazed in. So I go
Here
down
come
there
my girls.
and I holler at them. Hey,
All right, so-
girls.
Come on.
So they've already eaten most of this field.
That's right. Well, yeah, we get it down to a certain point, and then we want to move them onto fresh pasture. So
into the
this
woods.
happens to be a pasture move that is going from the lower part of the farm to the upper part of the farm. So they get to segue through the woods, which they love. The cows love being in the woods. So they're kind of coming out of our lower set of fields, going up through the woods to our upper fields, and this is just a thing that we do about every other day throughout the season until fall.
You
when
do
the-
this every day? Move them around?
every other day we move them around onto fresh.
Wow.
Not through this section. There are 4
This-
fields down here that
There's
you
four-
can't see.
But you're still
That's right.
rotating, though.
Yes, we rotate them all the time to
I
keep
did
the
not know that.
pastures healthy and keep the cows healthy. They love this kind of thing. When we
Good
call them,
exercise.
they come running. And it's a little dark in there, but it'll
That's okay.
adjust, and you
There
can
we go.
see they just they know exactly what they're doing. And they head right up through the woods,
Go on.
and they land in a field up there, and they're super happy about it.
How many pounds does this cow weigh?
Ideally, we want them around 1,000 pounds when we butcher them. And so it usually takes at least 3 years to do that with 100% grass fed.
So do you all move the cows, or just you two?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
All
everybody
3 of
whatever?
us. I mean, we're all involved, and it just depends
Dad's
on
got
who's available at the
other
time.
projects going on. He doesn't move them as much now, but
That's all right.
yeah, Rob and I move them all the time.
Okay. All right. Let's pop up some pictures, Jeff. We still got a couple minutes yet. I want to make sure we cover these.
Yeah.
There was one picture that popped up while you were talking that had you guys in front of your sign there.
Yep.
Oh, there you are.
There we are.
There
That's
you go.
Gavin was a little younger.
I would say
then.
he's a little younger.
He was a little
Oh,
younger than we
and
don't.
there's our one-legged rooster down in the corner
Yeah,
right there,
he was
Hopper.
our pet
Oh.
rooster that we had at the time.
He was a little rescue that Gavin
yeah.
saved.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the fam. Oh yeah, those are our
Oh.
turkeys, and they're close to butcher. When they look like this and they have all those beautiful colors on them, they're close to Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And something to know about our turkeys is we typically sell out of our turkeys at Thanksgiving.
Right.
I'd love to be able to carry some turkey throughout the year, but our Thanksgiving people really love our turkeys.
I
So
bet.
we sell out, but we start taking orders for turkeys in July,
Mm-hmm.
and then we butcher the week before
Okay.
Thanksgiving. Again, this is some more rotational grazing. You can see our windmill in the background there.
On
We've
the
got a
left
windmill
picture.
that
I see it way
produces a
in the
bunch
back.
of our
Now-
electricity.
No, you don't breed them here. You just buy.
We do.
Oh,
Everything
really?
is born and raised. It's called a
Oh.
closed herd.
Okay.
And it's one of the ways you can preserve your genetics. If you're happy with the size of the babies when they're born, if you're happy with the way that they tolerate winter, then you don't want to change your genetics too much. So we
And it keeps illness out, too.
Yes,
You know.
exactly. So we promote from within.
All right.
Everything's born
Super.
and raised.
All right.
This is one of our farm visit days.
Okay.
We invite our customers to come out for customer appreciation, and we typically like to take them around the farm and feed them, and we have a great time. So this is a picture of them on the hayride.
Okay. So, as I promised you, you're going to get the last minute. I won't ask you more questions. What do you want people to know about Parable Farms, and where are you guys located?
So we're located in Northeast Sherman Road, on the Northeast Sherman Road, 10 minutes outside of Northeast, and before you get to Sherman. And we're very proud of our practices, but mainly we want to get the message out to people to get interested in our region, just like you.
Yep.
We want people interested in this region. It's a beautiful region where we're producing a lot of really healthy food as well as drinks and attitudes.
Okay.
And yeah, that's
And
the
your website, one more time?
is eathealthy@parablefarm.org.
That's a wrap, guys. How
Thank
much fun
you
was
Very
that?
much. That was great.
Okay,
Thank
folks,
you.
check out Parable Farms. I'm going to. I just got to figure out what size turkey we need.
There you go.
All right, we're going to do this all next week again. Thanks for checking in with us. And again, if you want to see more about Parable Farms over and over again, what we talked about today, we're going to be on YouTube and also 2 and 8 throughout the week. Take care now. We'll see you next time.
That was mucky.